Okay. This is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Now, the oil sector has done quite well over the last 12 months, up almost 50%, 49% for the last 12 months. Now, we're here talking to the stormtroopers about big oil. Now, what's your opinion of the big oil and the big oil sector?
Well, big oil, I think we should be getting that for free the way we're kind of protecting the Middle East. We should, well, big oil's been around forever and it's always done us well.
Now, you say that you're protecting the Middle East. Do you, as a stormtrooper or a military man, feel that we should be in the Middle East protecting big oil?
No, I don't think we should be in the Middle East. I think we should make sure you give that oil to us for free with all the help we're getting.
Okay, and finally, what is your outlook for the next 12 months or so for big oil?
Well, it's going to make oil and gas a lot cleaner, and it's a lot better for us in the economy and the air, and the ozone area, you know, the ozone and everything.
Okay, so in closing, this is Jarbon from the Predatory Lender, talking to you.
All right.
That's my turn. Okay. Okay, just oil.
Okay.
And again, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Now, the oil stocks has done quite well this last year. Now, we're here talking to a famed investor, Catwoman from Tiger Financial. Now, how do you feel that big oil is doing for you guys at Tiger Financial?
I think that oil has been very good for the last few years. It's a good thing to get into. It's going to stick that way for a while, I think. Although you're kind of getting in at the top, so I don't know that it's going to. It would have been nice to get in a few years ago.
Now, you say we're getting at the top. Do you feel oil will start heading lower over the next few months, particularly the summer driving season?
It might go up a little, but I don't expect it to go through the roof or anything like that. So you might see a little increase, but it's not going to be like a big overnight success. You're not going to get rich quick scheme or anything like that. So
now, we were talking to some folks. They were concerned that we had such a large military presence defending big oil. Do you think the government should be spending so much money defending big oil with a military presence?
Well, the government, in terms of defending our own oil, right?
Well, oil in general. Well, his criticism was mainly troops overseas defending the oil rigs.
Well, I think that, yeah, it kind of needs to be looked at after. I mean, if that's what the job is of the military, is to police and make sure things are okay, then they're doing their job, and that's a good thing. So
in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say about the oil sector?
No, like I said, I think it's going to be pretty stable. There is a hurricane season will be coming up, and when that happens, then if one of the hurricanes decide to hit one of the oil refineries somewhere down there in the south or something, then that could affect the oil prices. So.
Okay. So in closing, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Okay. That one. Here we go. So again, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Now, we understand that big oil has done quite well this year, up almost 50%. Now, we're here talking to Marilyn about her investments in big oil. Now, how do you feel that big oil is doing for you?
What, do I have an oil man here? Woo!
Maybe.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I think we all need it. It's a need in our lives, and we're dependent on it. Right now, I think they're trying to come up with other, ways to supplement us besides oil. But until then, we're pretty much dependent on it. So we're going to do what we've got to do to get that oil. And as you can see, the United States is having to do that. And unfortunately, involves the war and whatnot. Yes, but I don't know. I think it's basically because, like you and I, we use oil so much. I mean, it's just a resource that God's provided that we need. So thank God that He's provided it and that we still have it. It's just we just need to pray that he would provide in a way that's peaceful, and there's no dishonesty or corruption involved, and because it's really God's resource. It's from the hand of God, and we thank Him for it. And we just pray that He would provide for us abundantly, as long as we're, in prayer, and we love Him, and we acknowledge Him, and He's our God, and He's Lord of all, and we have no other false gods before Him. He will bless us. He won't have to punish us, and He won't have to destroy this earth and mankind like He did with the flood.
Now, you bring up an interesting point about corruption.
Right.
Do you feel that the dealings that we have with particular oil or oil companies or oil-rich powers, that there is a large level of corruption, and that's possibly pushing prices higher or lower? Or do you think that affects the price due to the corruption?
Well, I got to tell you this. I've been in Hollywood 10 years, and I have never seen such greed in my entire life. And I said greed. I mean really greedy. Okay? We're talking about people that hoard money, hoard possessions, hoard things, and they won't give to those that have needs. And I'm praying right now, because that's such an awful thing. That's so wrong. And I don't want to be greedy, but there are people in this world that just aren't living for God, and they need to repent and get right, and they are very greedy, and sometimes the love of money is the root of all evil. People are dishonest. They will rob, kill, and destroy just to get money and power and goods, and I'm afraid that as long as Satan is loosed, like he is right now, there's going to be that, because he's out to rob, kill, and destroy, especially Christians. And so we have a greater power God, and God is going to fight this battle for us, and He's going to win it. We know that. We know who wins this battle. But until that angel, that archangel, binds up Satan and casts him to the bottomless pit, we have to put up with him. And that's a matter of, using our God-given power and authority to command him to flee and leave us alone. But there are people that are not using that, do not know the Lord, and they're open to demonic forces. And yes, they're allowing corruption, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. And but I would say you just give your heart and life to the Lord, and you're on the winning team, and you'll live forever. So that's the answer. That's the way. That's the truth and the life.
That's the answer. So again, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Okay, we're just doing oil, so it's just, what do you think of oil? So again, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy. Now we're here talking to some folks about big oil. Now we understand that big oil is an issue that you are quite concerned about. What do you think about the big oil and big oil stocks or big oil companies?
I think that oil is a cause for a lot of problems in today's society. I think we're going to war for oil. I think that animals are dying for oil, and it's a resource that we need to steer away from. And I know we can live without it. We've lived without it in the past, and we can learn to live without it in the future. The less we depend on big oil, the less they can have a hold over us as a society.
Okay, now you mentioned that we're kind of dependent on big oil, and some of the other guests has talked about our heavy military dependence on oil. Do you think we should be putting such a large military presence defending big oil and big oil companies?
I think that we went to war for oil. I think that thousands of Americans are dying for oil, and I think that that's wrong. When we have other resources, we have solar power, we have wind power, and I think it's wrong for people to be dying for something that's not needed and only puts money in the fat cat's pockets.
And in closing, over the next 6 to 12 months, what do you think oil stocks will do for the people out there investing in oil?
I mean, I don't want to see anybody go broke, but I think that stocks will be going down, because I think that people are tired of the war, and I think people are realizing that other resources are available to them.
Okay, so in closing, this is Jarbon talking to you about the economy.